welcome to The Drop.
The Drop was created to showcase the personalities and play of our local professionals.
Today's guest is Kristin Reinhart. Before we meet Kristin, let me share with you all our format. During an interview on The Drop, 4 of our guests' fellow players will play a match as we spectate. We'll interact with the match as a part of our format.
Now let's go to the court and meet another member of our crew, Bob Trout. Bob is a certified coach and trainer, and he's going to be mic'd up on the sideline today as our honorary referee. Bob, take it away.
Thank you, Dan. We're back for our session number 3 on court. And to my left, your right, we have
Tommy Calderon from Chelsea, Michigan. Excited to be here.
Brian Brooks from Comstock Park, Michigan.
Zach Chambers, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Adeline Nelson, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Excited to be here as well.
Thank you. We're going to play 1 game to 15, win by 2. I will be reffing in an unofficial capacity. I'm not certified, but I'll also be coming up with some comments along the way, which a ref would never do in a real game, or at least we hope not. Anyways, we're going to be starting with Tommy and Brian on this side.
Team on my left, are we ready? Team on my right, are we ready? Time is in, 0:02.
We're excited to have Kristin Reinhart here in the booth with us today.
Point,
Welcome, Kristin.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
1:02.
So, Kristin, tell us about your pickleball journey. How long have you been playing now? When did you start?
I've probably been playing, I don't know, maybe 3 or
Side
4
out.
years, but the last couple years since the pandemic, more seriously. Actually, probably like a lot of people, my parents introduced me to the sport.
0-1-1.
You know, took a couple like playing lessons, played with some friends, and then really started playing a lot when the pandemic hit because there really wasn't much else to do but play pickleball. So it was a saving, fun activity to do to kind of get out of the house and see people, you know. But it's been fun, and you know, I've been doing a couple tournaments here and there.
0-1-2.
But you know, it's funny because everyone, you know, talks about how, oh, you'll become addicted. And I'm like, okay, I won't become addicted to pickleball. And then, you know, it kind of seems like life revolves around pickleball now. You know, when you're going to play, who you're going to see, this type of stuff.
1-1-2.
Everything else, like you said, is around pickleball. It's funny. It's totally true. Were you? What was your sports experience, maybe prior, if any, prior to pickleball?
So I actually played
1-1-1.
basketball growing up, and I played in college, D2 at Ferris State. But I've played a lot of sports. Pretty much every sport but tennis is actually what I did. I'm a big golfer, and you know, played soccer, played some sand volleyball, things like that. But this is my first experience with a paddle or racket sport. But I think, you know, some of the stuff obviously, you know, translates, being able to move. I think I like the defense and resetting, and a lot of that can come from, you know, the other sports I played.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Looking in on the game here, we have a fun one. We got Brian and Tommy versus Adeline and Zach. Any thoughts? I know you've played with this crew here, so as we get going, share any thoughts you have. But a bunch of good players on the court, right?
Yeah, you know, I think they. I play some mixed tournaments with Tommy, so I'm more familiar with his game. Then I've played a little bit with Adeline. You know, just kind of for fun. I played against her and Zach in a couple of tournaments, but you know, all solid players. I know that I played against Adeline and Zach. They really like to hit the ball hard, come at you, and if you don't get a good deep return against them, they can really make you pay dearly. And you know, then they get on a run, and it's tough. But you know, I mean, they're all
3, 2,
active, and I mean, Tommy, his length. You know, you think you can get a shot down the sideline, and no, he's there in a second. You know, I do like playing with him because he can really take over. I can just stay on the side, and he really does take over a lot. But you know, it's fun. It's fun playing with just different people too.
With that too, I mean, do you play a lot of mixed or gender or both? Do you have a preference on the side? Strategically, how do you like to play the game?
So that's a good question. Obviously in mixed, they play the right side. I do have a woman's doubles partner that I play a lot with. I do start on the right side with her. But we do mix it up because I think I do like to get to the left side. I think I have a good backhand dink and kind of get in those rallies there. But it's definitely two different games. With a lot of more people are playing pickleball, but not quite as many women in my area to always play with. So I play a lot with guys, which is different, but I think, having them hit the ball hard at you all the time really helps the women's game because there are some hard hitters out there, but just in general, the guys hit it harder, so it's really good practice. But, I think I like women's better. I just don't get as many opportunities to play it. It's usually maybe, mixed or three, like this game, one woman and three guys. But, actually some of us women have been trying to get together and kind of come together maybe like once a month from the east side, the west side, get groups together to play because it is, nice to play with different people. These people are our friends, see them, but then also just get some good, upper level women's play because you just don't really get that too often, on a weekly basis.
You guys just had that recently in Lansing, Michigan. So for audience, Grand Rapids, Michigan being west, kind of Chelsea, Detroit, Ann Arbor being east. You guys had an event like that recently, right?
Yeah, we did actually. I just was talking to my women's partner, Downey, and we were kind of talking about getting some women together. And obviously, it's like everyone who I texted was in, so we ended up having 4 courts. And I'm sure, honestly, we could have had, if I continued to text more people, I'm sure we could have had 6 courts because it's just, people are craving that. But it was fun, and it was, good to see people, nice to play with just different people. I know a lot of people kind of have their partners, but you never know. It's nice to play with other people to see if your games are compatible, and sometimes they're not. The styles just don't mix, which is okay too, but it's nice to just see different shots. I mean, I can tell you some of my friends, where they're going to hit the ball, and they know where I'm going to hit the ball, so it's nice to have a little bit of surprise and have to be, play it straight up. But it was fun. We had a lot of fun, and one thing about pickleball is it's fun to play, get a good workout, but it's also very social. So, we played for like 3.5 hours, and then most of the group went out to dinner afterwards, which is always, honestly, pickleball was great, but that's always a really fun thing to do. We get together. I think that's one of the great things of pickleball is you get to meet so many new people, and it's just a really good community.
Yeah.
Such a social sport. Yeah, a lot of great people.
It is. And it's nice because it is, there's a lot more younger people playing the game now too. I know my friends would make fun of me. They hadn't played pickleball much, and they're like, "Oh, are you going to go play?" And I'm like, you know what? First of all, age doesn't matter because there are people who are like 13 that are really good, and then you have people that are 70 that are really good. But it is nice to see that there's some more. It's really picking up, and some younger people are starting to really, become addicted to the game as well.
Yeah, it seems to really be catching on with the younger crowd. We've seen that more and more at our venues here in Grand Rapids, that just the age range just seems to be catching up within the lower ages, and it's really cool to see.
It is. I know I have some of my friends, they haven't played, and they want me to, introduce them to the game, which, I do plan on doing that. It's a little harder in the winter, finding court availability, but in the summer. But everyone just, it's taken off so much.
So coming into the year, you've been playing 3 or 4 years. You and Downey had some really good results at the Salty Elf. I think you guys won that, right?
Yes, we did. One thing that's great about the Grand Rapids tournaments is the round robin format. I really do enjoy that because you get to play every team. And Downey and I had some success. We, played well. I think Downey really hits the ball really hard. I'd rather slow it down, but I can speed it up too. But I think our styles are really compatible. And we live in East Lansing, so we get to play together a lot, which is also is helpful. But yeah, it's been fun, and we have some tournaments this year that we're gonna do. We signed up for the U.S. Open, and we were lucky, and we got into the 2 women's events.
That's phenomenal.
Yes.
Nice.
So we're going to do that. The only thing, I like the U.S. Open. It's a fun experience, but I don't like how you can't come back and win. You know, once you lose in the
Yeah.
winners draw, you only can get 3rd place, but it'll be fun to just play some different people. You know, I mean, kind of, like we said, we play the same teams here or there. So I'm looking forward to that.
We're going to take a quick break to the court here, and Bob, why don't you take it away?
How do you decide which side, who's going to play which side?
It's really up to the team that's playing. I like playing on the left side. So it just depends on who you're playing against.
Okay, anything to add?
Yeah, and sometimes, like one of my current partners that I play with, it's how you're feeling on the day. Sometimes we both like the left side, both like being offensive and dictate, but sometimes if you're kind of in a rut and you're stuck, it's good to just do a switch or stack and then try to change the rhythm up.
Okay, okay. Thank you. We'll go ahead and switch sides.
I don't know how much you've experienced with other partners, but like when you're looking for a partner, what are you looking for in terms of chemistry, play style?
You know, I do look for someone who kind of brings us a different dimension than me. Like I said, I really do like to hit a 3rd shot drop and get up to the line or get up to the kitchen line and kind of slow it down and kind of get into some dinking rallies. So I have played with some people who have, you know, killer forehands that really can speed it up and, you know, drive more. And honestly, I think you have to enjoy each other, you know.
Yeah.
I think, you know, you don't have to be best friends by any means, but, you know, enjoy playing with that person. It's supposed to be fun, right? We're lucky we get to play this game. But, you know, everyone wants to win and you're competitive, but you have to be having fun out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you lose, you don't play well. You're not going to always be, you know, rah-rah. But at the end of the day, it is pickleball. We're hitting a wiffle ball, you know. So, you know, just having fun. And I think that's important too.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
7-8-2.
You've alluded to it, and I mean, having the pleasure of watching you at Salty Elf and a little bit here today too. Any other shots you're working on? I mean, your resets are buttery and phenomenal. Your
Thank you.
3rd shot drop is fantastic. Anything you're actively working on in your game?
You know, I would like to, you know, work on my drive a little bit more. I kind of took a break around the holidays, haven't really drilled much, but now that we're kind of coming into, you know, some tournaments, you know, work on my drive there. And, you know, I see all the top women's players, they have a 2-handed backhand. It's super uncomfortable for me because I've never, you know, have played tennis. But I think that would be something that I would like to, you know, get out there and kind of experiment a little bit to see if it's worth it. Not do it obviously all the time, but I think if you're standing at the kitchen line and being able to, you know, kind of rip one off quickly, it would just add some more power there. I mean, you watch like Anna Lee and I don't know, Paris Todd and, you know, Anna Bright, all the, you know, players, they just have that. Everyone has that. So that's something, you know, come this winter time and spring, I'm going to get back to, you know, just drilling and spending a little bit more time on my game. Something I'm looking forward to maybe experimenting, adding a little bit.
Yeah. Do you find drilling to actually, I think it'd be just as enjoyable as rec play, right, in that development?
It's so key. I know I hadn't really drilled much until, I'm trying to think, the last year or so. Have a couple guys that like to drill and with a purpose, because I think sometimes I was going to drill and they're like, okay, what are we even doing? We have no game plan. You know, we end up talking half the time. But I you get so many more shots in, an hour, 45 minutes of drilling than in rec play. Because anytime you step on the court, you want to win, right? So you don't want to let your partner down when you have to work on some shots live, but that's not the time to really, get all the reps in. So I think it's so important to, depending on what you want, spend some time, drilling. But it's a good workout, and it is super fun. I do like to do it. That's one thing about it.
Yeah. I know you said it's just a wiffle ball, and we'll pretend that pickleball is not all of our lives. But what else do you like to do in terms of your time, family? What else do you have going on?
I'm very active as far as playing sports. I mean, I've been playing, since I was little. So I do like to golf. I used to golf a lot, and kind of pickleball has taken that time away because it's just kind of easier to go play pickleball than to go, on the golf course. But, I like spending time with friends. I'm a pretty social person, kind of always like to be doing something, and living in East Lansing, Michigan, we have Michigan State right there, so I do attend. I am a Spartan, and so I do attend a lot of those games, basketball, football. I like to be around people, so just kind of getting out and about and doing some of that stuff.
Oh, that sounds fun. So you said you're a Spartan, so you went to Ferris State and then went to Michigan State as well?
I did. I got my master's at Michigan State.
Nice.
So, and I grew up in East Lansing. So I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with high school, but it's very close to campus. I mean, right next door is like a sorority or frat house. So right in the heart of things, which is always fun kind of growing up around that stuff. And my sister played soccer for Michigan State, and my parents went there. So we are, we're a big family full of Spartans.
Ingrained right in there, right? Yeah.
Go green.
Yeah.
So what paddle are you playing with, Kristin, and what do you like about it?
I play with an Engage Pursuit. I know there's so many paddles out now. I remember when I started playing, were playing with Engage paddles, and I just kind of stuck with that. I haven't really experimented with other ones. Now there's so many out there. I would like to actually maybe try some different ones, but I don't have a sponsor or anything like that. But I'm pretty, it feels good. I'm not too into the new technology and things like that, but
Right on. Found what you like.
Yeah.
That's right.
We ended up with a 15 to 8 victory for Tommy and Brian. Tommy and Brian. I believe it was over here. You had one where you took kind of in the kitchen, may have scratched the kitchen while you were taking it out of the air.
Yeah.
Might that have happened?
It's a possibility.
Okay.
I won't confirm or deny.
Okay. And as a ref, I wasn't sure, so I didn't call it. But you could always call it on yourself.
You don't need to give him an extra point.
Okay. The other thing I wondered, you're working on a new shot at the line, at the kitchen line, where you're dropping your paddle down, almost straight down as it's coming. What's the hope there?
Just a whole lot of either put it on line or cross quarter middle. Just trying to generate more speed and flip.
Okay, lots of generate speed and top spin.
More top speed.
Yeah. So you can actually kind of pull it up over the net and then dive down again. Okay, thank you. Anything else you want to add? Okay, thank you. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Bob. So, Kristin, it's been a pleasure having you on the drop. Is there any final thoughts or Pat, any final question you want to ask Kristin here as we close up?
Nope, no questions. Just leave it open for remarks from Kristin here. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was fun, and I'm glad pickleball's kind of brought us all together.
Absolutely. So Thank you so much. This has been The Drop Episode 3. Thank you all, and hope to see you next time.